All right, we are moving on, ladies and gentlemen. Seth Rogen doesn't understand Marvel. He doesn't understand who the hell Marvel's advertising to. He doesn't understand their marketplace. Marvel is no longer about making movies and comics for kids. Marvel is now part of Disney, which is here to make stuff for adults who are stuck in an endless cycle of protracted adolescence. Would you agree?
That goes for more than just Marvel. It's every Disney-owned property and more than that, even. So here's what he said in an interview with Total Film magazine. He's talking about this because of The Boys. He's a producer of The Boys, and it's adapted from comics, and he professes to be someone who has loved comics for many, many years. So he said, regarding the film adaptations of Marvel Comics, I think that Kevin Feige is a brilliant guy. A lot of the filmmakers he's hired to make these movies are great filmmakers. But as someone who doesn't have children, it is all kind of geared toward kids, you know? There are times where I'll watch one of these things as an adult with no kids and be like, oh, this just isn't for me.
It's because he's actually an adult.
I don't know. Seth Rogen is so emotionally immature. I was surprised to hear him say something like this.
Was Seth Rogen the one who fought with Gad Sad on Twitter?
He's fought with literally everyone on Twitter and threatened violence against Gina Carano.
And he was he sent weird messages to people and was like, "Are you Jewish?" To people.
I think he literally, I don't know his weird fighting with people on Twitter rituals, but he's literally said to Gina Carano that he's gonna find her and really threatening stuff like that. So I think he has some anger management and emotional maturity issues to work through. That's why I was surprised that Marvel wouldn't appeal to him, because if Marvel is geared towards kids, then why wouldn't you enjoy it? And he continued saying,
"You're a child."
Truthfully, without Marvel, The Boys wouldn't exist or be interesting. I'm aware of that. I think if it was only Marvel in the marketplace, it would be bad. But it isn't, clearly. An example I'm always quoting is there is a point in history where a bunch of filmmakers would have been sitting around like, do you think we'll ever make a movie that's not a Western again? Everything is a Western. Westerns dominate the effing movies. Is that where we're at with comic book adaptation movies?
And that's interesting too, because Westerns are coming back into
they
vogue.
Are.
So it's why are we making so many comic
still
book
seething
movies?
about Gina Carano having been in Terror on the Prairie.
Look, it's also funny. It's he pretends that the Dark Knight trilogy wasn't a thing, that V for Vendetta wasn't a thing, that Joker wasn't a thing, that the Daredevil and really all of the Marvel Netflix shows weren't a thing, all of which were very clearly marketed towards adults, or at least older teens and adults. And not geared towards kids.
It's not even that I disagree with him saying this part, but he just sounds so pretentious. He said, there's worldwide audio-visual entertainment,
oh God, he's such
and
a
there's
dork.
Cinema. They overlap from time to time, but that's becoming increasingly rare.
Yeah, like Pineapple Express. What? Do you
Hot Tub Time Machine, Cinema.
Yeah. Because you make highbrow movies.
Maybe Scorsese can say that.
Yeah.
You, Seth Rogen, you cannot say that. You do not have room to talk.
The movie about sausages that cursed.
Yes.
That was awful. Oh my gosh, I memory hold that.
Beer Fest. Das Boot.
Oh, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
Did he work on that?
You can't make...
Someone commented, says the poster boy for man children.
He is. He's part of... Him, Jonah Hill are all part of that generation of dudes with James Franco that made their living being immature adults.
Yeah, that's the thing where we're getting confused. Marvel movies are not kids' movies. They make most of their money off of adults going to see these films. And if anyone is, original fans of the comics that are going to see these movies adapting them, it's older people, because young people are not reading comic books nearly as much as they were. And maybe that's just because of the medium or because the genuine quality is degraded, but
middle-aged men.
It's the truth. And Marvel is even confused about the target audience they're going for, because they seem to think that all of these MCU protagonists that they're pushing, like America Chavez, are appealing to this imaginary audience, this truly non-existent audience of Gen Z teenagers, especially teenage girls. that simply doesn't exist. They don't go to see these movies, and they don't care about these characters.
If they also Marvel did the really horrible thing where they were trying to become a lifestyle brand and they were doing podcasts talking about merch and stuff like that.
I'm sure they still
so
are.
So try hard and so awful. Like Sana Amanat and all these people doing, really, really bad and very clearly stuff that nobody cares about.
And I actually wanted to source a quote from one of our Instagram commenters right now talking about Disney. Just Disney in general, everything it sucks into every property or franchise that Disney acquires and like brings it into their Borg becomes the same thing. It has the same tone. So here's what they said. Being previously avid Disney pass holders, we saw how cultish and junkie-like the stunted adults that frequented the parks were. It's like they needed a fix of the magic just to block out the hurtful existence of reality.
It
wasn't just a handful of times that a couple of overweight, Mickey-eared, graphic tee-clad, Hot Topic rejects gave my wife and I the death stare because our toddler's stroller was blocking their beeline to the overpriced churro cart. 75% of Disney pass holders are neon-haired, perpetual children, confused about life, reality, science, and their true function in society. Wow. Angry at breeders for not taking the high road of being fur parents and minimizing their carbon footprint by voluntarily removing themselves from the future gene pool.
Look,
what an accurate and hateful
I was like, damn. I've never seen something that intellectual in a comment section before.
Have you seen the videos of people going to Disney for the first time after COVID?
No.
And they're like breaking down in tears.
Are they being like feral?
Tears of happiness as they see the castle.
I bet there were more fights in Disney theme parks after the pandemic because people weren't socialized enough.
Tears of joy, and people are filming them. Like, now, look,
going to a Disney park, especially during like hot weather, seems like an absolutely psychedelic experience in the worst way. Like, it seems like a bad trip, you know? Like, you're just getting heat stroke, you're sweating bullets, you've been in line for 5 hours for a ride that you don't even like that much.
They have not figured out how to actually appeal to younger audiences because they don't need to. The people who love this stuff are the most loyal people on the planet, and they will spend every last penny of it.
It's not going to last forever, though.
I think it's a perfect storm of like our society kind of crumbling in a way. People aren't having kids, people aren't having families, so they're latching on to IP as a way of coping with the fact that the world hurts.
It's also a way that people keep track of time now. Like, people time their lives and the different phases of their lives through the media they consumed in that time, and it's just very
I'm in my
dystopian.
Frozen era.
I mean, yeah, I like talking about eras of their lives through
also
media.
I wonder if any of the same people who go to these are there any like nutso people who go to see Harry Potter at Universal Studios? Harry Potter's fan base is just as weird. It's just more fractured now because of her comments, but they were always just as fervent.
Right.
Just English majors.
I'm
an English major.
I don't know where this is going.
For me, Seth Rogen saying stuff like this is hilarious because I don't think he realized, and he should realize this, right? He's part of the producer class in Hollywood. If anything, he should have more insight into these problems than the average person. But this goes back to what Hollywood's constantly trying to do, which is the phantom audience. They want to find a mythical phantom audience that they think magically exists because it is kind of part of the business mentality, right? Like, you're always growing. You can't just settle for comics. Would be fine if they just pandered to like 18 to 49-year-old men who go to comic book shops. To 59 now. We'll say 59, right?
Not even as young as 18.
He's so insanely unaware. Wasn't he on Twitter reprimanding someone that was, I think Casey Neistat was like, damn, I got my windows broken and my stuff from my car was stolen.
He's like, yeah, about
it's like, oh, that happens to me like 7 times a month.
Yes!
And you know what?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, it's okay to live in LA because the crime's often. Like, he's like, it's not that there's crime. He's like, you just get used to it. Right?
It's like, that's bad.
He's
bro.
like, I live in a crime-ridden hellhole. Yeah, you get used to it. It's fine.
I think for years, Seth Rogen has been one of the most toxic people on Twitter. And I mean that, like, not in the colloquial sense. He's literally just, like, a radioactive person.
From one to Mark Ruffalo. Like, how much?
He's worse.
No way.
No, he's not.
Like,
stop.
He's not worse.
No,
than
no, no.
Mark Ruffalo.
He's always been worse. He literally said, like,
No.
Gina Carano, I am driving to your house right now. B word. Like,
Maybe it's just because Ruffalo's more annoying and he's just more nutty.
Mark Ruffalo is preachy and diplomatic
Yeah.
in a sense.
No.
Seth Rogen is just straight up unhinged.
Yeah.
I'm going to read Mark Ruffalo's.
Show us a Mark Ruffalo tweet.
Yeah. I'll just read the. First, let me read the description. A husband, father, actor, director, and a climate justice advocate with an eye.
What does that mean?
Who knows? With an eye out for a better, brighter, cleaner, and more hopeful future for us all.
Chat, I want somebody in the chat to tell me what an actual climate justice advocate is.
It's Mark Ruffalo. Okay, so this is his pinned tweet. As Twitter grows more unpredictable and harmful to marginalized groups, I'm exploring some other avenues for us to connect. I'm excited to continue to foster and be in our great community. If you'd like to come along for the ride, here's where you can find me. And I'm sure it's some garbage site.
I can't with these people. They're so disconnected from reality.
Yep.
So that's the point of going to these theme parks.
Should I read Seth Rogen now?
To be suspended from reality for a while.
Feels that way.
What's so hard about the reality of living in endless abundance anyway?
Yeah, okay, that's actually a good point. Like a lot of what's going on is what's going on with Disney adults. A culture of living through a time where like people just have less struggles, or is that the struggle is like they were sold the bill of goods that they were going to buy a house and they were going to get married and they were going to have kids and all this stuff, but then the divorce rate went sky high, housing costs went sky high, they can't afford kids, and they've lived in this nihilistic mindset for so long that they just take refuge in these annoying characters. And I do believe that most of the Marvel characters these days are annoying.
There is a beauty in working through the hustle and overcoming some things.
But they don't want to do that. That's trying
Yeah,
too
well,
hard.
I don't aspire to be like them, so I don't care. But so I don't remember who said this, but some influencer was saying that when you're broke, like food is awesome.
Yeah.
Because you're just eating garbage shit when you're broke nonstop.
Yeah.
And when you can finally have something nice like a steak or something, you're like, wow, oh my God. And I guess
Andrew Tate say that? Like
was it him?
Yeah, Andrew Tate said something about like, look, he's like when you're broke, just any food is good. So like when you get to eat a steak, you're like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing ever. Yeah, he said that.
And I remember that, man.
Yeah.
I remember just being, oh my God,
Yeah.
eating rice and beans forever, you know?
That's like how it was for me for most of my life.
Yeah,
like
same.
living, you know. But that informs a lot of people's like taste. Like if you grow up eating cheap food, you don't feel like you need to eat expensive food because like it's like you like what you like.
I guess I'm a bit more of a food snob now.
I'm not a food snob.
I don't know how we got on food.
Give me all the seed oils, I say, as
Yeah.
everyone melts down. Oh my God.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.